أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا.
I think let's move a little bit forward, sir, because the story that I wanted to pick was Dhulqernain and the two characters which are nowadays talked a lot in social media, Yajuj and Majuj, Gog and Magog. These are people are talking everything about these two characters and Dhulqernain. Sir, before we go into the story, my question to you is, the question Yehud and the Quraysh asked was about the two travels of Dhulqernain. So why does Quran brought the third one? That was not asked. Nobody even knew it. Even Yehud did not know about it.
Yes. This is very, very interesting thing. And we need to understand, because there are no accidents.
Of course.
There are no accidents in the world of cause and effect. And Quran is also not hadith, it is qadim.
Of course.
Okay, hadith means that it is something doesn't occur to Allah just anytime like
exactly.
this. It doesn't happen like that. Allah knows everything from the beginning till end.
Absolutely.
So why it is a big why.
Why the third story?
Why the third story?
And which is the most important one,
Yes.
actually.
Third travel. Dhulqernain's story is actually that lifts the true, the deeper veils from the mysteries. There are intriguing us, our minds since long. And people, if they get to understand, they dig deeper and understand this story, then everything would be very vivid and clear to them what is happening in present day.
Absolutely.
So what is this story? This story, first of all, Dhulqernain had two travels, one towards the western extreme limits and then towards the eastern extreme limits.
By the way, do we have information on why did he travel to those extremes?
It is like you go to the all corners of the world to spread the word of Allah Almighty.
Okay. So it was purely, I would say, preaching tours.
Yes, these were actually dawah trips.
True.
And he went there, and his actions are so pronounced. On one side, he also did what Allah desired, and the second journey also did what Allah desired. And in the third journey, that is very important because
apparently, because apparently the two trips don't think, other than the dawah, don't bring any other specific spice in the into the board.
So once he went, and it is very strange and important thing, because Allah is telling us the Muslims, these stories, Quran is for us. True. From present day Muslims of 2024. Okay, so that third story, that is very important, and if we are able to understand that third story, then we will have our response accordingly. We can adjust ourselves accordingly. And what happened in that third story? One, Allah actually left the veils from the face of the Banu Israelites.
True.
Because they asked this question and they actually wanted that Allah would explain everything and would explain about Yajuj or Majuj, because they actually wanted the details about Yajuj and Majuj, and they kept the question
very covered.
Half question. It was like half question, and they wanted to ask about Yajuj and Majuj, Gog and Magog.
Which we will also discuss, that are they just symbolic or they were actual real?
Okay. So in that case, what happened? Allah explained this expedition in much details. There are no such details for Dhulqernain's first journey or the second travel, but there are more details, and details in such minute, you can say details, which no one can expect. Because there is a wall which is constructed in this third journey, and mind you, even Baitullah, the house of Allah in Mecca, the details about its construction are there.
Very, very minimal.
Yes, but not in such details.
Yes, true.
Because in this case, Hazrat Dhulqernain, he asked to bring the pieces of iron. Okay, you can say blocks of iron, and blocks of iron, they were used like bricks.
True.
And a wall was created, and over that wall, the molten copper that was spilled. This is very, very interesting. And there was
Do you mind if I call it the height of metallurgy?
yes, it is extreme engineering.
Epitome of you are a civil engineer, I am a
yes,
mechanical engineer.
You can call it extreme professionalism. Allah is telling us that my people, the people with a faith, has to be extremely professional.
And on the top.
Yes, top notch.
There is no second.
Yes, that is why Allah is telling this story to me. This is very important for me in all the professions, wherever I am or you are. You need to be the top man.
Kavi Muslim.
Yes, Kavi Muslim.
That's the definition of the
yes.
Kavi Muslim. No? That
Yes.
you have to. I mean, I was and thank you. This aspect I read through this book, viewers. Karan Sahib had mentioned it that the technological advancement that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala Allah Subhanahu wa Taala actually is also telling us. You can mold this metal, you can mold that metal, and you can do things. So it's a complete metallurgical.
I'll add few
teaching.
things.
Yes,
and
please.
these are very important things. Another thing is that there is use of furnace in this case also.
Use of furnace.
Because blowing
it.
of heat was done to for molting the copper, the melting of the copper. And over here, let me give you two details. Very important. Rather, three details. One is, what is the melting point of copper?
I think 1400.
Yes, 1400 to 1600.
1600, yeah.
Okay. So copper doesn't melt. We don't make walls like this. Allah is telling us. We call it the era of the stones.
Yes.
Mind you,
It's
this
the
is not
latest,
era.
yeah.
Allah
Even
is not
today, we
telling.
don't melt copper like
yes,
that.
we don't make walls like this.
Yes.
So Allah is telling us it is something very serious, very important, which we need to understand. Allah is giving us the details.
But why copper, sir? That's also another question. Why copper?
It'll come.
Yeah.
First, copper, it has a melting point about 1400 to 1600 Celsius.
And then iron.
You can well imagine the type of technology, the level of expertise and the professionalism.
And the thing in which they would carry that copper.
Yes,
That
container.
would be container.
Yes,
itself.
it would have a higher melting point.
Otherwise, it will gone.
Yes. So then iron. Iron's
1800.
that is around 1800 to 2000 Celsius. It doesn't melting point of iron is like.
And then again, the
1800.
container has to be more.
Then casting of that iron into the blocks or the sheets.
Yes.
It is not a simple affair, mind you.
Yeah.
The people who have the metallurgical background, they would understand that this is a very, very extreme professionalism which Allah is showing us. Allah is giving us in such details in His book, which is perfect.
And even talking about
And Jame book.
molds.
Yes.
To cast them, you need to have molds. So the mold technology which we are saying today, we are very advanced molds.
Well.
So that is.
So the mold, the casting was done. First the melting we discussed, then the casting, and then other thing, that copper was lifted.
Yes.
Okay.
True.
That was spilled from the top. So that it becomes like a cement,
paste.
paste, like we have plastering effect. So with the cement, we give the plastering effect. If that the plastering effect came through the molten copper. This is not a small thing.
And viewers, this is, I think, if I am right, Karan Sahib, you can also let me know. This is what we call about our modern relevance. That खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना. I have to quote Iqbal and it has to be in Urdu. खुद ही को कर बुलंद इतना कि हर तकदीर से पहले खुदा बंदे से खुद पूछे बता तेरी रजा क्या है. Lift yourself to that level that before Allah even writes your destiny, He will ask you, what is that you want?